Okay, you guys, it's time to have an honest talk. I have been struggling. This was gonna be an amazing year and I was gonna get my life together, and January has probably been the hardest month. I'm struggling to stay on top of all my tasks. I'm struggling to get it all done, be everywhere, do everything. It's just been so hard. And I just feel guilty about how I made all these plans and I'm not following through with them. And I don't know if you guys have felt that way, but I decided enough is enough. And I sat down and I made a plan to actually achieve all those goals, a plan to actually have a schedule that I can follow. One of the things that I had forgotten that actually makes a schedule and goals work, I threw out the window. I'm gonna tell you guys exactly what that is at the end of this video because it is my biggest, most monumental tip for you guys. But I'm gonna break down exactly what I did so that I can get my life back together. So let's get into it. If you guys don't already know, my name is Tiffany. I have 6 kids ranging from ages 17 all the way down to 3. And we also have a puppy. Well, not even a puppy anymore. He's gonna be a year old this month. Say hi, Buffers. So having 6 kids is incredibly busy, but it's incredibly fun. I get to experience every single season of life all at once, which is great, but at the same time, I'm experiencing every single season of life all at once. So that means I am having to deal with teenage issues, but also the toddler tantrums. So when I tell you I know what it's like to be stressed out and overwhelmed, I know what it's like to be stressed out and overwhelmed. So here's my tips on how to get over that overwhelm, how to get back on track, and how not to get even more overwhelmed by the change you're trying to make. So let's get into it. So the first thing I do is I make a list. I make a list of all the things that are important to me, the things that I know that I want to get done in my daily tasks, the things that I want to make sure I'm making time for, and the things that I enjoy. I make that list, kind of a dump list, if you will, of all of those things. Step number 2 is I divide them all up into categories. I make a category that each one of those things fits in that are important to me. I make sure it's not too many. Once you've made all those categories, the next thing you're gonna do, write down those tasks that it's gonna take to complete each of those categories. So for instance, for me, my categories are, first of all, my immediate family. I wanna spend time with my kids and my husband, dedicated time where I'm not distracted with anything. My full attention is on them and I'm not trying to multitask. My next thing is church. I definitely want to make time for church. We do go to church every Sunday, but I have been hit and miss on our Bible study because we've had sports and things going on. Or sometimes it's just the fact that by the time we get to Wednesday or Thursday, we are just exhausted. We don't have plans for dinner. We've got so many things going on. So I could do a better job of planning. I could do a better job of having dinner already ready so that I can make that a priority. So that is something that I want to make sure is in my schedule. The next thing I want to do is have time for myself. Over the Christmas season and everything, my health has been terrible. I've been eating the things I shouldn't. I haven't been working out. I've been filling my schedule to the brim. We did Vlogmas. Definitely check those out if you want to get to know our family more. But it was so much work and I just got in the habit of constantly working. I stopped taking care of myself. I stopped making time for myself, and that was just not a good habit because now I'm having the hardest time trying to get back on track. Another huge part of that is feeding my soul, and this kind of goes into church, but it also goes into the me time where I want to make sure that I'm having time spent in God's word, praying, even just having time of silence where I could just sit and listen and watch. The other day, my son comes downstairs from his nap and he sees my other son and he says, "Hey, best friend, let's do our secret handshake." And I'm like, they have a secret handshake? I wouldn't have known that if I wasn't being quiet and listening and paying attention. So more focusing on what's going on around me, being more involved. Those are things that I really want to incorporate into my day because I feel like I put those on the back burner. The next category I have is time with friends and family. Because of our sports and our busy schedule, we have spent so much time just running around doing things. But I want to go back to incorporating having more time with my parents and my sister and my brother. We would have family dinners and things like that all the time. And lately we just haven't been able to even catch up with each other. So trying to make time to invite them over or arrange special times where we can get together and spend time together, or just going out with friends. I want to spend intentional time with other people outside of our family as well. The next category on my list is sports. If you saw our preparing for the New Year video, then you'll know we are a very sports-driven family because all of our kids love and play sports. I have to realize that's running around. That's multiple sports going on at the same time. Limiting the amount of sports that everybody could do at once is a huge thing because I've noticed that I have just been stretched so thin trying to get everybody where they need to be. Money has been stretched thin trying to get everybody to play what they want to play. So limiting our family, having to say no is hard, but it's something that we're going to need to do and I need to do a better job of so that we can have time to do all of those other things that we love as well. Another thing that I do that's important to me is helping out at my kids' school. I'm on the PSO, which is like the parent organization, and we do a lot. We usually have at least one meeting a month, and then we are planning different events and things that take time as well. So having time in my schedule to do that so that I'm not scrounging at the last minute trying to come up with things or not getting back to people, I need to make sure that's part of my schedule as well. And last but not least, of course, work. I'm trying to do YouTube. I had no idea how much time went into making videos. I do now. It is a lot of work and I love it. It's definitely a passion of mine now. I love doing it, but it does take a lot of time and I need to make sure I'm dedicating the amount of time I need to do it rather than having this, oh yeah, sure, I can film and edit in one day. No, I cannot do that. That's not where I'm at yet. So I need to make sure I have plenty of time in my schedule to do that. So these are all things that I love and that I want to do, which leads me to step number 3. All of those things I didn't mention that I don't even want to do. I don't want to sit around cooking and cleaning. Those aren't passions of mine. I am just trying to get food on the table and feed my family a healthy meal so that we can get on to the next task. It's just not something that I'm passionate about right now. Those are things that are sucking my time. It's a time suck. The next step is what can I do in those things that I'm not enjoying, that I don't want to spend more time doing? How can I get those more efficient? For me, like I said, is cleaning and cooking. For cleaning, the biggest recommendation I can give you is to declutter your home. I am in the process right now of trying to declutter. We've had Christmas, we've had toys, we have a lot of people in our family and not a lot of storage. The clutter around me drives me crazy. It stresses me out, it stresses my husband out, it stresses all of us out. Trying to eliminate all the clutter is huge, and trying to declutter to a point where it will only take you about 15 minutes to actually do a clean up of your house, a tidy up of your house. That's where I want to get, because I know if I need to clean up really quick, it's only going to take me 15 minutes. Another thing to do is not leaving messes for later. What I'm trying to implement into my family right now in our nighttime routine is getting everybody to do just a 15-minute cleanup. Put on some music, get the kids involved. Each of our kids have zones. Everybody goes to their zones and just spends 15 minutes cleaning it all up and getting it prepared for the next morning so we don't have to wake up to a mess. Those simple little things are going to help put more time into my day to do the things that I love. The next time suck that I have is cooking. Things that I can do for cooking, even if it's something as simple as taking meat out the night before. Preparing meals is huge. Preparing what I'm gonna have this week, knowing what we're gonna have this week, that way I can be on top of it. We also will run to Trader Joe's and get a few things that are easy to make. Trader Joe's stir fries. Those take like 5 minutes to just cook up really quick. If we're running around really fast and we need to do things, I know that I can definitely shave off some time in my day by planning ahead my meals, cooking meals ahead of time, trying to dedicate a day, maybe Sunday or something that's usually kind of my day off. That's a great day to get those things done. On to tip number 4, making a mock schedule. Here's mine here of my ideal schedule, what I would like my day to look like. I won't go too far into this, but basically you're just gonna evaluate your day and put in there in the time slots what exactly you would like your day to look like. Now don't get upset when your day doesn't turn out exactly like this. This is just a hopes and dreams schedule of what you would love for it to look like. You might start to write it down and realize, oh man, I jammed way too much stuff into this schedule. This is never gonna work. How could I have been thinking I could get all this done in one day? Or you might say, hey, actually, I have some time. I can go and put some personal time into this moment. So just make a list of what your ideal schedule would look like, your day would look like. Again, here's what mine looks like. If you want to take a screenshot to get an example of what one would look like. Step number 5, it's not really a step, it's more of some tips for you. So my big, huge tip for you is to do one thing at a time. If I want to make a change, if I want goals, if I want to implement a new schedule, I'm not going to change everything all at once. I'm going to pick one thing that's important and I'm going to do that. For me, I wanted to wake up in the morning and the first thing I wanted to do was have a quiet time. Have a time where I'm in my Bible or devotional with the Lord. That's something that I have been kind of putting on the back burner that I need in my life every single day. So I've been waking up and I've not been worrying about what time it is. I have not been worrying about what else I got done. My only goal is I'm going to wake up and I'm going to have my quiet time. So all this week, guess what? I woke up and I had my quiet time and now it's what I do, just like waking up and making my coffee. So now that that's a routine, now I can add something else in. Now I want to start waking up at 5:30 in the morning. So let's do that. Let's start just implementing I wake up at 5:30 this week. So if you can break it up into one new thing, each time one thing becomes a habit, then it will actually stick and it will actually become your schedule. So that is my biggest tip for you. Don't try to do it all at once. Do one thing at a time. And that can work with anything. If you're trying to take food out of your diet, if you're trying to implement a new workout routine, do one thing at a time. If you can't have gluten and dairy and sugar, don't do everything at once. You're gonna go crazy. Do one thing at a time. And once that's manageable, add in another thing. Enough about that. Let's get to some more tips. Another tip I have for you is that when you start to feel stressed out and overwhelmed, don't isolate yourself. try to make plans to be with someone, a friend, somebody that you know encourages you, because the last thing you want to do is go down the rabbit hole of overwhelm and then pity and then anger. I mean, I've been there, I've done that, and I've had times where I didn't even want to get out of bed some days. It's not fun. So rather than isolating yourself and getting drowned in all of those feelings, go and talk about them with someone who can encourage you, who can get you back up. Even if it's your hairdresser. I went and talked to my hairdresser and she totally encouraged me to get back on track with my eating, and it was so helpful. And one of the last tips is identifying things that are toxic. Try to get those things that are toxic in your life out of your life. If you have people who are bringing you down, if you have something that you're going and doing, you may have good intention. Oh, I'm going to go volunteer somewhere. But when you get there, maybe there's somebody that's around you that is just toxic in your life and makes you feel bad about yourself, or maybe you don't enjoy doing that job and you hate going. I mean, those are things that are kind of toxic in your life. Find something else that you can do that you actually enjoy so that you can feel good when you do them. Now, I know that sometimes it feels like the season that you're in, especially if you have many kids, it feels like it's going to be forever, especially having been in the toddler baby phase for 17 years now. I feel like this has been a season of life we've been dealing with forever. So there's been some changes. There's been like another season accompanied by another season, but I still feel like I've, just graduated from the diaper life and we still have one kid in a car seat. So the season feels like it's been very, very long, but we have to remember in the grand scheme of things, it is a really short time. So try to choose what is really important to you so that you can look back knowing that you grew, that you were gleaning, that you made the most out of every opportunity in your relationships in your life. So to go through each step once more, you're going to make a list of everything and put it into categories. You want to write down how you're going to achieve those tasks in those categories. You're going to find areas in your life that aren't necessarily things you enjoy and try to make those more efficient so you can spend more time on the things you love. And then you're going to make a mock schedule of what your ideal day would look like. Write it all down. You're going to start adding one change to your daily schedule one by one until you create habits and it becomes a routine for you. I want to leave you guys with this quote from Dan Millman. I have no idea who he is. I just found his quote and I absolutely loved it, and it totally goes with our whole New Year motto of the year, which is quality over quantity. Here's his quote. Life is a series of moments. The quality of attention and action that we bring to each moment determines the quality of our lives. I absolutely love that. Please let me know in the comments if you have ever felt this way before, if this has helped you out. Also, if there is something going on in your life that I could be praying for you about and you feel comfortable sharing that, please put that in the comments so that I could be praying for you. And if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!